It was 9 hours into the flight. We spotted our third suspicious skiff. Same pattern as the first two. Small boat, no fishing gear. Too far from shore and moving too fast for fuel efficiency. But we can't do anything about it. We're not hunting these guys to catch them. We're hunting them to understand the pattern. And that's when I realized it. Hunting pirates and writing mysteries are the same thing. I'm TJ Stecker, and I spent months over the Gulf of Aden hunting pirates in the P-3 Orion. What I learned about pattern recognition and the detective work of surveillance changed everything about how I write mystery plots. It was Djibouti, 2012. We were flying anti-piracy missions off the coast of Somalia during the height of the pirate crisis. You remember this era. Captain Phillips, Somali pirates hijacking cargo ships, Navy SEALs taking out pirates with sniper shots from a destroyer. Hollywood made it look like nonstop action. But the reality? 12-hour surveillance flights where nothing happens. Our job wasn't to engage the pirates. We weren't shooting anyone. We were gathering intelligence. We'd take off before dawn and fly a grid pattern over the Gulf of Aden and look for suspicious activity. Then we'd report what we saw to the command center, and they decide what to do with the information. Sounds boring, right? But here's what made it interesting. We were looking for the needle in the haystack. The Gulf of Aden is massive. Thousands of boats out there every day. Fishing boats, cargo ships, dhows, and skiffs. Most of them are legitimate. A tiny percentage are pirates. And they all look basically the same at 10,000 feet. So how do you tell the difference between a fisherman and a pirate? Pattern recognition. You learn what normal looks like, and then you look for deviations. A fishing boat should have nets, equipment, maybe a crew visible on deck. It should be moving slowly, relatively close to the shore. A pirate skiff? No gear, moving fast. Burning fuel like they're in a hurry. Often traveling in small groups. And they're way too far from shore for legitimate fishing. None of these things alone mean piracy. But together, it's a pattern. On one mission, we were about 4 hours into the flight. The sun was up. The Gulf was a sizzling brown expanse below us. My sensor operator calls out a contact. We got a skiff bearing 270, 15 miles out. I look at my screen, small boat moving fast. No visible fishing equipment. Interesting. We circle, get closer, start documenting. Speed, heading, number of people on board. Any weapons visible. And then we see it. 2 more skiffs, same profile. Traveling in loose formation about a half a mile apart. Now it's really interesting. Because pirates don't travel alone. They work in groups. One boat to approach the target ship, and others to provide backup. We report it to command. They tell us to maintain observation. So we circle, and circle, and circle, for hours. Nothing happens. They're just moving, heading west, parallel to the shipping lanes but not approaching any vessels. My brain is going crazy. Were they pirates? Were they fishing boats that just don't have their gear deployed yet? Were they smugglers running contraband? We didn't know, so we kept watching. But eventually, command tells us to break off. We've got other areas to patrol. We mark their position, log the report, and move on. 2 days later, a different crew, different mission. They spot boats matching the profile in roughly the same location. Pattern confirmed. Not definitive proof of piracy, but enough to establish that these boats are operating in a pattern that doesn't match legitimate fishing activity. That information goes into an intelligence database. Analysts look at it alongside other reports. They build a picture of pirate operating patterns, when they go out, where they hunt, and what their operations look like. And eventually, when a coalition warship is in position, they intercept. But here's the thing, we never get to see the intercept. We never get confirmation that those specific boats were pirates. We just gathered the data and moved on. That's the reality of detective work. Most of the time, you're gathering pieces of the pattern without seeing the final picture. You're looking for deviations from normal. You're tracking behavior that might be significant. You're building a case based on probabilities, not certainties. And most of the leads you follow, they go nowhere. Let's say out of every 10 suspicious contacts we spotted, maybe 1 turned into actionable intelligence. The other 9, false alarms. Legitimate boats that just happened to look suspicious from 10,000 feet. Fishermen who were further out than usual because the fish were running deep. Cargo dhows taking a shortcut. Smugglers, maybe, smuggling cot or cigarettes, not piracy. The job wasn't to be right every single time. The job was to notice the pattern and report it. Let someone else decide what it means. And that's exactly how mystery writing works. Your detective isn't solving the case in Chapter 3. They're gathering data. They're following leads that go nowhere, building a pattern from incomplete information. The reader should feel like they're doing the same thing. So here's what hunting pirates taught me about writing mysteries. Real detective work is about pattern recognition, not sudden revelations. Michael Connelly's Harry Bosch doesn't crack cases because of one brilliant insight. He cracks them because he notices small deviations from normal that everyone else misses. Dennis Lehane's Patrick Kenzie spends chapters to go nowhere, because that's what real investigations look like. Your mystery shouldn't be a series of clues that point directly to the killer. It should be a mess of information, some relevant, most not, and your detective slowly recognizing the pattern. False leads aren't filler, they're realism. Most of what you investigate won't matter, but you won't know which pieces matter until you investigate all of them. So here's what I want you to take away from this. If you're writing a mystery, crime fiction, or a thriller, anything with an investigation, don't make your detective omniscient. Make them a pattern recognition machine who's wrong most of the time. Give them 10 leads, make 8 of them dead ends, and let the reader follow those dead ends too. Because that's what real detective work feels like. You're flying grid patterns over an ocean, looking at 1,000 boats, trying to figure out which 3 are the ones you're hunting. Most days, you find nothing, but you keep looking because that's the job. When I wrote Jeff Coburn's investigation in Redacted, he's not Sherlock Holmes. He's not seeing things no one else can see. He's a guy gathering information, following patterns, and making wrong assumptions, and slowly figuring out who's lying and why. That's the mystery worth writing, not the puzzle box where every clue points directly to the solution, but the investigation where most clues go nowhere, and the detective has to recognize the pattern with incomplete data. I'm still learning how to nail this on the page, how to let the reader feel the frustration of the investigation without losing momentum. If you want to follow along in that journey, head over to tjstecker.com and sign up for my newsletter. I share updates on my publication journey, craft insights, and stories like this one. And if this video helped you feel differently about writing mysteries, leave a comment. What's the best false lead you've ever read in a mystery novel? One that felt earned and not cheap. And remember, we have new videos every week right here on Fireside Writer.